Hey there, snappers and pappers, yappers. Really quick intro to this before you click off. This video, like these kinds of videos, are actually the best ones I do. All the ones where entertainment value, talking about one little topic. If I'm being honest, this one is way better than those. If anyone here watching is an Oscar user or wants to understand their breathing patterns while on CPAP, this is a type of video to watch. Have Oscar pulled up with your data and look at what I'm trying to show you. This thing is chock full of really good information. Anyone who has done an Oscar PAP therapy analysis with me through my website knows that this is the kind of stuff I'm telling you, and I am actually showing you examples of it in this video. This video is solid. Might be a little crazy, might be a little over your head, not to be condescending. There's plenty of stuff I personally don't understand, and if I beat my head against it enough, I eventually figure it out. That's what this video is for. By the way, this is part of the iNAP testing. Doesn't really have anything to do with it. That's just where I got the data from.
Hello, snappers and pappers, yappers. This is the second video in my scoring series, just for the iNAP comparison. iNAP being the intermittent negative air pressure therapy that I did. So this is the the secondary study. So this is a secondary video. The first video I did was on the sleep staging. Now this is going to be respiratory. So I've backed it on up. You can see up here if I toggle around. I've already staged it. All this is staged. This hypnogram up at the top. All these red bars are REM. What we're going to do is go to the very beginning of this study, right? Yeah. And we're going to enlarge. Whoa. Wrong thing highlighted. We want the entire study there. Highlight the bottom. We want to have this a 2-minute window. So you can see each of these segments is already like, this is wake, this is stage N1, N1. And as I rotate through, we're going to be scoring respiratory. We're going to be scoring typically leg movements. We don't have leg movements for this study, but we're going to be doing basically arousals and respiratory. So let's move. This should be actually a much quicker one. So we're looking for arousals. Any thickening of EEG, I don't see any yet. They definitely, I believe they stood out during. So this looks like it could be one. So let's take a closer look. And no, it doesn't look like anything. So we're going to go back out to the 2-minute window and keep it moving. So we're looking for complete obstructions in the airflow. So this P flow right here. We're looking for flattening. We're looking for 30% decreases. We're looking for decreases prior to arousals, things like that. Looks like we have some little possible snores here. Very interesting. Very snory. And my wife told me I didn't snore on either night, which was a little disconcerting because I typically snore if I don't use any therapy. So I'm kind of wondering what this is all about. Could just be, it looks like it's at the exhale of the breath, so could be a little like one of those little things. There we go, our first arousal. So we have an arousal, and now we have to evaluate, was there a decrease in airflow here that caused the arousal? Let me make that a little smaller. So, very tough. So what I usually do, I look at the blood oxygen. It's at 96 the entire time, and it never really deviates from that at all. Man, is this a RERA or not? We do have a decrease in airflow. It looks like even if I consider these the baseline over here, it looks like it does pinch in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a RERA. Yeah, we're calling that a RERA. Normally, I would call this an arousal, but with RERAs, respiratory effort related arousal, it's already inferred in the name, so you don't have to do anything. Now look at here, kids, aspiring sleep techs and curious folk. Now in Oscar, I always mention, or when I'm doing Oscar data reviews with people, or I'm just like, telling people that obstructive central apneas are fake. Here we go. Look at this. See the belts, the abdominal belt here, the thoracic belt here, how they're moving? They're flat over here. Oh my God. Jocelyn, what's happening, Jocelyn? Do people call this central apneas? Dun, dun, dun. They sure do. ISR even calls those. Those aren't. You can see what I've been screaming from the mountaintops. Arousal, hyperventilation, post-arousal central. When you hyperventilate, you have no desire to breathe. Hence, the central apnea. And you can see there's no harm, no foul. There's no arousals after that. No one's waking up. Yeah, there's a blood oxygen desaturation because I'm not breathing and I hyperventilated. But you'll see that it stabilizes. Of course, until the next arousal. But it stabilizes. This one, I don't see any decrease in airflow. There's no blood oxygen desaturations. This is just a good old-fashioned arousal. Another good old-fashioned arousal. I'm not really sure why. Why are these occurring? That's not a deep enough decrease in airflow for it to be anything. But do you recognize this, guys who have had a PAP therapy analysis with? Do you see this, the way this breathing looks? Does it look like anything maybe I've shared with you guys? If you're interested in one of those guys, $150 currently. I'm probably going to jack it up because house payment. Oh, just kidding. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, if you want to do a PAP therapy analysis with me, axgsleepdiagnostics.com, PAP therapy analysis. And I show you all kinds of cool stuff about your sleep that you never knew. So we have an arousal here. Look at this shift. You can see the EEG over here is nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and fast. We're going to call that an arousal, and I'm going to bounce it back to a larger window and keep it moving. Sometimes in the first pass, when people are doing sleep staging, they'll like to tag arousals. I kind of don't like to do that. It just seems kind of dumb. So look at this little dog ear guy. Let's take a deeper look. Where was it? Right there. Yep, we got an arousal. So actually, you know what? That's not quite 3. I don't think that's long enough. It needs to be 3 seconds, and it looks like it starts like right about there. It looks like it's about a 1 seconder, so I'm not going to call that. I'm not calling that an arousal. Sorry, guys, you got all excited. Now, technically, it was an arousal, but yet it's not an arousal, but it is an arousal. You know what I mean? Using the scoring rules, it has to be 3 seconds. Now, I, in my infinite wisdom, I say that tongue in cheek, recognize, yeah, I actually did wake up right there. So why not call it an arousal? Because I woke up. A lot of arousals. I don't see any decrease in airflow. Nothing going on there. It looks like the blood oxygen dropped out here because who knows? It does that sometimes. Quick editing note. Oftentimes when you have these unexplained arousals, you put them on CPAP, all of a sudden they go away. Even though these aren't technically ARIRAs at all, you put them on CPAP, it goes away. Interesting fact. So another arousal here. No real reason that I can discern. I am wondering. I have my theories of what night this is just based on this. I need to get that out of my head because I don't want that to be there. So now this looks like a decrease in airflow here. This one definitely looks different. I wish the blood oxygen were in there, but from over here, you see the breath is much lower over here, and then we have the arousal. I'm gonna go ahead and call that ARIRA because to me it fits the criteria. We have 96 down to 95 with an arousal with a decrease in breathing. That's good enough for me. You know, I thought this video was going to be actually short, and god dang it, I'm feeling like it's going to be long because I'm talking again. A lot of delta sleep. Interesting thing about delta sleep is even people that are like severe apneics typically will have any sleep disordered breathing disappear while in delta sleep. It's kind of interesting. Now, why am I waking up so much at a delta? That's disconcerting. Here we go. I can feel my muscles growing as I watch this. Look at those delta waves. Good Lord, Jason. Or I'm sorry. Good Lord, Jawson. Look at this. We have an arousal. Now, the machines that you guys use at home would tag this as a hypopnea or something. We're far too wise for that. We're going to go ahead and acknowledge the arousal, but do nothing about this. Post-arousal, I'm unimpressed. Looks like we have an arousal right there. Let's take a look. maybe, probably. I'm not going to call out 1 because that's pretty weak and it's definitely not long enough. That's what she said. Meh. Now looky here. What do I say about REM? Looks like REM actually starts over here. Central apnea. Central apneas are seen in REM sleep. It's a normal part of REM. I have said this during, again, my PAP therapy analysis. These aren't long enough, but in general, you can see they really don't do anything. Like they don't wake people up. There's no arousals. Rarely blood oxygen desaturations. Just the breathing changes in REM sleep. No one knows why, except for people that do know why. I am not among those. So we have an arousal. I don't think that this is related to anything at all. That's my professional opinion. So see, sometimes the machines will call these hypopneas or something. They'll call them RERAs. Because yeah, there's a 30% decrease in the flow. We have a 2% desaturation, but it can't be a RERA. There's no arousal. It's not a hypopnea because desaturation is not enough and there's no arousal. Machines will tag these, and what you'll also see is when people have this on APAP, that the machines do detect these as being a problem, and then you'll notice that when you're in REM, your pressure ramps up so high, so fast, that you'll wake up. Now this one I do have to call something because there's that decrease in airflow, and then it crescendos up into an arousal. So sorry, REM. Plus you have a desaturation of 3%. I mean, come on now. I mean, that's RERA territory. Just an arousal. See, post-arousal central-ish hypopnea. We're ignoring it because nothing. Another arousal. My goodness gracious. Another arousal. I don't see anything to indicate that's a RERA. Am I missing something, people? Let me know in the comment section down below if you think I'm missing something. I'm not. My goodness, another arousal. I really think I know what night this is, and I really wish I would stop doing that because I kind of think this is the iNAP night. And I say that because I remember a few times feeling a oh god, I felt like a pool sweeper that had breached the surface and was sucking water off the top. I think that might be it, but I don't know. I need to forget about that because it's going to cloud my judgment. I'm going to call that a RERA. We have a slow, steady decrease in SpO2 before the arousal, decrease in airflow. That is a RERA, in my opinion. Man, I feel like you guys are watching me squirm around in my underwear. This feels very invasive. I feel like you're peeping through my window a lot. So hypopnea, yeah, we kind of have to call it that. Decrease in airflow. We have an arousal. I gotta call it. There's no arousal though, so that's what that is. Though I don't think it is a big deal personally. Not the way that one looked. So a lot of you might be saying, what about the 96 to 94? That's from this right here. We always have like a 10-second to 8-second delay. It's right about here. So this is caused by this. This arousal is just its own little thing. So this is a 3% desaturation. You can see the decrease in airflow. There's no arousal, so I'm not calling it anything. If it were 4%, I would call it a hypopnea. You see how arbitrary these rules are at times? That is why I typically solely focus on arousals. That's really all I care about. So arousal here, decrease in airflow, no brainer. And we have an arousal. There's a lot of arousals here, my God. I feel like I should be sleeping better with my career choice. What is happening here? I guess it's like a mechanic whose car is trash. Maybe. I want to call that. I'm just going to acknowledge the arousal. it's not enough to get a baseline of breathing right there. We have the arousal over here, and a long period of wake, it looks like up till here. This is that little in and out of sleep thing we saw when we were staging. Kind of that in and out of sleep, like a sleep transition. Oh man, I really definitely think I know what night this was. I remember doing this. I really should have had someone else score it, but 2 reasons. 1, cheap, and 2, they would probably expect me to pay them, and that's not going to happen. Look at this. Nice stage 2, just cruising along. That is not long enough to be considered an arousal. I can tell you that. This one is. Decrease in airflow. No, I don't think so. Another little arousal there. That's more of a transition. My God. Now this one I do think is more of a RIRA. I'm going to call this one a RIRA. That one is probably not, that's not long enough to be an arousal. So we got that RIRA there. On my side in REM. Not enough. We do have an arousal though, it looks like. 3% desaturation, decrease in airflow, no arousal, therefore nothing. Another 3% desaturation. There is an arousal, so this gets to be my good friend, Mr. RIRA. Hopefully you guys are finding this helpful. Another RIRA in REM. How curious. So, yeah, interesting. We have another point here, guys. Who has done a PAP analysis with me and knows that flat line, and then what happens with the flat line? Little position change. Guys, I'm not making this crap up. You know what I'm saying? No, I do make some stuff up, but just not this. So we have a hypopnea. Decrease in airflow, oxygen desaturation, no arousal, but you don't need one with the oxygen desaturation. But you can see this, I mean, it's not really detrimental to sleep, right? I'm still cruising along. My blood oxygen is still above 90. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not even waking up with a headache at this point. Now this one I'm waking up. So that would lead me to be a little snarky. We have to associate the arousal at that point. Probably the first time we've done that actually with a hypopnea. So see the little association line? So you know that they're together. They're a couple. They just asked him out to slow skate. Give me a shout out in the comment section if you used to go to skating rinks when you were a kid. I just had a conversation with that with my friends, and my kids looked at me like I had lost the plot of life. Yeah, man, you'd slow skate backwards. Little sideways ponytail in your best girl. Oh man, the 80s were wild. Really, really wild. Oh man. All right, another decrease in airflow, another arousal. We're calling that a RIRA. We're on our back. Now this is a hypopnea, guys. Are we falling apart here on our back? We have the desaturation with the arousal, with the decrease in airflow. That thing fit everything. Oh my God. This is just a disaster. I'm teasing. Usually the numbers, like you'll see spots that look terrible, but the report will show otherwise. Look, I'll be frank with you. Both nights I woke up, I felt pretty damn good. So you see this, like the snoring, I'm pretty convinced this is snoring. You see the snoring get bigger as breathing increases, leading up to arousal. We have a desaturation here, oxygen of 2%. So this is a pretty good indicator that that's very likely a RIRA. What I was saying is the report, though this looks bad, the report you'll see like they're probably are like very minimal throughout the whole night. Because look, as I'm toggling forward, I mean, this is like 2-3 minutes. It's a lot. So we have a central apnea. We do have an arousal right there. That's rare, folks. Very rare. See that breathing marker, guys? For those of you that had a PAP analysis with me, you know exactly what that is. Decrease in airflow, arousal, desaturation, which is not really required, but just more feathers in your cap. That's a RIRA. That is a nothing. Just an arousal. That is a... So this desaturation came after the arousal. This is mostly movement related. As you can see, the time marker, it's just an arousal. That is Aurora. Are we? Yep, we're getting close to the end here, kids. So like I was saying in my other video, aspiring, well, folks geeking out, I hope you really appreciate this. This content is hella hard to make. Requires a lot of effort. If you're an aspiring sleep tech, I wish you luck if you're doing this to pass your boards. I would say, please, as I said in the other one, pay attention. Pay attention at night. Stop watching Netflix and dicking around. Pay attention. This is your job. This is your craft. The people you can serve after, it's well worth it when you have someone tell you actually saved their life and improved their life, saved their marriage. This is not a bragging moment, but every time that happens to me, it makes me feel like $1 million. It makes my paltry YouTube checks seem like they're all worthwhile. No, but seriously, the lives you improve, that's kind of what it's all about. When you get into healthcare, it's less, I don't know, you make sacrifices sometimes, and that's, you kind of understand that's what it's all about. Now, my wife, on the other hand, she's like, where's the money? I'm like, babe, it's for the greater good. And I know that makes me sound like a commie, which I'm not, but sometimes it is. Like, sometimes you got to do what you feel is right. And I feel like this is right. I feel like this is nothing, even though it looks like there's an arousal there, because it should be here. I think that's just a fattening, thickening. We're going to ignore that. Pretend like it never happened. See that pattern? Waxing and waning, REM sleep. Very, 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 very common. That's actually not common. It's normal. It's actually normal. And unfortunately, this one, no, that's just an arousal. See that? Look at this. I have to call this a central apnea because it's so damn long. But I don't want to. I'm letting you know that. I think it's ridiculous. No arousal. Yeah, there's desaturation. Ho-hum. So I'll tag it because I know that's what the ISR, the ever watchful eye, would want to see. But I don't like it because it's REM sleep. You see those transient central apneas in REM. They don't mean anything. What you really care about are back-to-back-to-back central apneas. Those are a problem. The little one-offs, not a problem. Wouldn't worry about it at all. Okay, kids, looks like we're at the end of the ride. We have an arousal there. By the way, all arousal, it doesn't mean it's bad. Some people, you just wake up sometimes. That's the end of it. So if you appreciated this video, I appreciate you watching. Way longer than I thought it was going to be. Really appreciate you watching. I have to do this exact same process, staging and then respiratory, with the other study I did. I'm going to be comparing the two in another video. Hopefully you enjoyed this respiratory and arousal scoring video. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye. Wow, you've got yourself a stinky mask. Pick up some Mask Bright today. Thank you to all watching, but an extra thick thanks, buddy, to Patricia Espelong, Ray Troutman, Sarvesh Joshi, Stuart Hetherington, Matthew Lilly, and Mona Swearingen. And thank you to my other level Patreon supporters, as well as my YouTube members. Especially Susie Balvez. I left you off the last one. I'm so sorry.